Hello. Today we will be unwrapping Following the Dark Arts, Rent-Free. Why hosting spiritual parasites is a bad real estate move, the VIP access no one asked for. Let's have a little soul-to-soul chat. We all know those people, maybe they even been one of them, think they've unlocked a secret level of boss energy by dabbling in the dark stuff. You know, the type, maybe you. They even had a season like this yourself. The folks who swear they've unlocked some hidden boss level energy because they dipped a toe, or their whole ego, into the dark and edgy side of things. They're out here tossing hexes like parade confetti, clutching their grudges like they're training for the Grudge Olympics, and pulling shady stunts on innocent people simply because they think it makes them powerful. They think they're the ones running the show. They think they're edgy. But if you could peek at what's actually happening on the spiritual Juby Wi-Fi, you wouldn't see power. You'd see a whole lot of ups. You'd see someone who has intentionally or not cracked their energetic windows wide open and let in a few very uninvited guests. And let's set the record straight. This isn't about being a good person to earn some celestial brownie points. It's about spiritual hygiene, sovereignty, and knowing who or what you're giving access to. This is about the spiritual physics of what happens when you sign up to play for the wrong team. So go and grab a seat, maybe wave a little sage around if it makes you feel better, because we're about to unpack why that so-called dark power is really just a cosmic pyramid scheme in a cheap cloak, and how to reclaim your soul before the universe drops the invoice on your doorstep. The hitchhiker problem. Your soul becomes crowdsourced real fast. When you spend your day nursing malice or lobbing dark energy at people, you're not gaining power, you're basically hanging a neon all-you-can-eat buffet sign on your aura and who shows up. Not wise ancestors or benevolent guides. No. You attract entities with the personality of a damp basement and the appetite of a chainsaw. These hitchhikers aren't your minions, they're your landlords. They don't take orders. They collect rent. They whisper thoughts that sound exactly like your own voice, nudging you toward just a little more spite, a little more chaos. All so they can feast on the fresh buffet of negativity you generate. You think you're running the show, but in reality, you're just the battery keeping their lights on. Here's the scariest part. Most folks being puppeted by these attachments have no clue they've been hijacked. These entities are basically spiritual ninjas. They don't stroll into your life and say, "Hi, I'm a parasite and I'll be commandeering your personality today." No, they slip in quietly. They braid themselves into your thoughts. They make your spiteful reactive impulses feel like authenticity or taking your power back, when really it's just you being coached by something that feeds on the fallout. If you find yourself obsessing over what everyone else is doing, or only feeling at peace when you're stirring the pot, those aren't your feelings. That's the attachment tugging the strings, making sure it gets fed. You're not in the driver's seat anymore. You're the vehicle being taken on a midnight joyride by a hitchhiker who doesn't care if you crash, burn, or end up in a ditch. Its only concern is the next hit of chaos you generate. The Most High is always watching. You can fool people. You can fool yourself, but you can't fool the one who sees the architecture of your soul from the inside out. The Most High doesn't get distracted by your excuses, your aesthetic, or your curated spiritual persona. Divine sight cuts through all of that like sunlight through fog. You might think you're doing your dirty work in the shadows, but there's no such thing as a private moment with the Creator. Nothing is hidden from the source that breathed you into existence. Every thought, every intention, every little spiritual side quest you think no one sees it, is all laid bare before the one who watches the soul, not the performance. The Most High is tuned to the all-seeing frequency. Every plot, every intention, every quiet scheme to harm an innocent soul is already logged in the cosmic ledger. As Proverbs 15:3 reminds us, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, watching the evil and the good, the ultimate unplug. The danger of denial. Denial is the final trapdoor. It's the spiritual equivalent of turning off all the lights, locking the doors, and insisting no one else is in the house, even while something is dragging furniture across the floor upstairs. When you refuse to acknowledge what's influencing you, you give it full access. Denial isn't protection, it's permission. Denying the Most High while dabbling in dark magic is like yanking out your own life support because you decided the cord didn't match your aesthetic. That's not rebellion, that's self-sabotage with extra steps. When you turn your back on the source to chase ego thrills, you're not becoming powerful. You're walking your soul straight into a spiritual dead zone where nothing grows and nothing guides. Matthew 10:33 makes it plain. If you deny the light won't recognize you. You're not making some bold spiritual statement, you're retrading an infinite power source for a cheap, temporary high that leaves you spiritually bankrupt and wondering why everything feels hollow. As Psalm 7:15-16 puts it, whoever digs a pit falls into it. The trouble they cause recoils on them. The Most High doesn't need to smite you with lightning bolts or dramatic punishments. He simply lets the hole you dug become the place you have to sit in for a while. Consequence isn't cruelty, it's clarity, the escape route. You can always turn around. If you've been dabbling in the dark stuff, here's the good news. You're not trapped. The moment you decide to stop feeding the shadows, they lose their grip. Attachments can't survive without your participation. All it takes is one honest moment of clarity, one breath where you say, I'm done. Turn your face back toward the light, even if it's shaky, even if you feel unworthy, even if you're crawling. The Most High is right there the moment you swivel, eager to meet you head on in that murkiness. Grace sips in faster than any shadow you've ever danced with, for those who don't want to stop. Some people won't unplug. They like the chaos. They like the illusion of power. They want the rush that comes from throwing spiritual grenades and calling it shadow work, and that's their choice. The Most High doesn't force anyone into the light, but here's the truth no one likes to say out loud. If you choose the darkness, you also choose its consequences. You choose the attachments. You select the spiritual debt. You select the hollow victories that cost more than they give. The universe isn't punishing you, it's honoring your free will. If you insist on walking into the storm, the rain is simply doing what rain does. But here's the truth no one likes to name. Most people who refuse to change aren't powerful, they re-terrified. Facing yourself takes more courage than any spell, curse, or shadow play ever will. Staying in the same destructive patterns isn't a strength. It's fear of not wearing a costume. This is real spiritual warfare. At the end of the day, this isn't aesthetic spirituality or cosmic entertainment. This is real spiritual warfare, quiet, subtle, and fought in the choices you make when no one is watching. Light and darkness aren't metaphors, they're directions. Every thought, every intention, every allegiance shapes the battlefield of your own soul. Choose wisely. The Most High always honors the path you pick, a note for those practicing the dark arts. If you're walking in the shadows, don't fear the Reaper. The Reaper isn't hunting you. He's just the final accountant of choices you already made. What you should pay attention to is the slow erosion of your own soul when you keep feeding energies that were never meant to sustain you. The Most High isn't sending punishment. He's letting cause and effect do what they do. The real danger isn't death. It's living spiritually dead long before your body ever catches up. Need more help? Check out the pros, healers, readers, and spiritualists. Thanks for watching. DPC.